Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about shot number 3 in the JFK assassination. Now, as you see on my videos, I already posted shot number 1 and shot number 2. Now, here is shot number 3, and this shot was taken by the gunman on the 6th floor of the county records building, as you see right here. This is from the Bells film, which shows the gunman on the 2nd floor of county records building. He already took his shot, as you've seen in shot number 2. He already took his shot to JFK. He shot JFK in the back of the head. Now, in this video here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you evidence of the third shot was taken by this gunman here, and show you the angle and the distance of this shot. Now, as we see in the Zapruder film, as you see here, this is starting with frame 442 of the Zapruder film. Governor Connally is actually starting to look to his right, which you see here. Then something occurred, because right here we see Governor Connally reaction on his face because he's in pain. If we zoom in right here, we see Governor Connally is in pain right here. See the expression on his face? He's in pain, like something just struck him in his right side. Oops, let's pull this back up, sorry. This is frame 242, 243, 244. Now he has expressions on his face. His mouth is open and stuff. He was just shot. And how he starts now, when he's sitting in the seat, when he's looking off to his right, he's going like this. He's pushing off like, he just got done being shot. As you see here. See, we go where he was shot right here. We see expression on his face. Then how he's moving his body over to the left, from his left. He's moving his body over to the left because he was just shot in the side right here. In frame 244 of the Zapruder film, we could detect when Governor Connally was first hit by a shot by the expression on his face, because we see he's in pain. And he starts moving his body to his left, which he's looking out to the right, but he's moved his body to the left, which is to the front of the car. Now, after I found this, and I was wondering about the expression, because in Governor Connally's interview, he said by expression on his face, he was shot. He thought to himself, the way people was talking to him in his interview, he said he was shot by frame 245 of the Zapruder film, by the expression on his face. That's when he was, shot. But see, he was talking about when he was turning to his left and he felt the blow on his back. But to him, he was told he was shot in frame 245 of the Zapruder film, which is actually 244 of the Zapruder film, because of the expression on his face. This is what was told to him. Okay, but as you see, and as I point out, JFK was already shot twice. Now, I know Governor Connally got shot, okay, by here, not only by the expression on his face, as we see in the Zapruder film, but there's other evidence to back it up too, just like right here. Here is the limo, which the image is actually, original image is in black and white. You can't hardly get a lot of details from it when it's in black and white, because you only got 2 colors you're working with, and a lot of things will be hiding in shadows. This is another reason why I colorized the image, so you can bring out more details. And in this image, what people don't know is, as you see here, which I'm going to zoom in, there is a bullet hole in Governor Connally's seat. Now remember, he was looking off to his right. As you look, he's looking off to his right while he's sitting in the car. He's shot. And remember, he's close by the door. If you watch him, he's close by the door. And he gets shot in the right side, and you get the expression on his face, and it's exactly right where Governor Connally was shot through, because his seat, the bullet came through his seat and shot Governor Connally in his right side as he was looking out. On his right side as he was looking out to his right. And that's why we had that expression on his face. So there's a bullet hole in Governor Connally's seat. Now, when the image is in black and white, it's hard. You can see the bullet hole if you know what you're looking for. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you can overlook it. And that's what people's done. But when I colorized it, I could see the bullet hole. And I colorized it because you can see where the stains of the blood was and everything else. So I know Governor Connally had been shot at that point, because not only does Zapruder film shows by the expression on his face, but we see a bullet hole now in Governor Connally's seat. Now, as I kept on viewing over the Zapruder film to see if Governor Connally was shot on his right side, and as you see here in frame 337 of the Zapruder film, and I'll zoom in. I'll even zoom in on this part here, which I'll bring it back up on this part here. Right here is a bullet hole with blood right here on Governor Connally's right side, as you see right here. Governor Connally has a bullet hole now and blood on his right side, which indicates he was shot in the right side as he was looking off to his right, as we see in the Zapruder film. So not only the Zapruder film shows us a time frame by expressions on when Governor Connally was shot, which was um, when he was shot, which he had an expression on his face, like he was in pain. But the Zapruder film also shows us Governor Connally's right side, and yes, there is a bullet hole with blood on it. And then the other images show there is a bullet hole in Governor Connally's seat. Now, that brings up the question of why did they take off Governor Connally's clothes? Okay, as you notice, as I point out in my one video about the clothes about Oswald and JFK and Governor Connally, if you watch over that video, you will see that Governor Connally's clothes, they didn't cut it off of him. They actually took his clothes off one button at a time, unzip his pants, pull his pants down and everything else, take off his jacket, take off his tie, take off his shirt, take off his undershirt, They took all this off of him. And after they took it off him, they rushed this to the dry cleaners. Why did they rush it to dry cleaners? The reason why they rushed it to dry cleaners is to cover up the extra hole that was in Governor Connally's right side. Because if they didn't cover these holes up, that's going to be questions of how did this bullet start ricocheting all over Governor Connally's body if they were talking about this one magic bullet theory. So they had to take the clothes, take them to the cleaners, press them, clean them, press them, and patch the holes in Governor Connally's right side. So no one will never know the difference. That's the reason why they took off his clothes like they did. By finding this out and lining this up, when we look at this image now, we know there was a gunman on the second floor of the County Records building. Why did that gunman took a shot to Governor Connally? Okay. We already know he shot JFK in the back of the head. But right after he took that shot, he took another shot to Governor Connally. That brings up the question why, which we're going to answer again, and I'm going to bring this up and when I do shot number 6. But right now, this is the gunman that took the shot, right here to Governor Connally. He shot JFK first, and he shot Governor Connally. Now, let's pull up this one first, right here. This is our starting point, right here on Elm Street. And like I said, this is our starting point of when we first seen JFK's limo, seen in the Zapruder film. And right here is location of where Governor Connally was shot in the right side as he was looking out to his right. This shot was taken at 8.71 seconds from this starting point here to this end point right here where the shot was made contact was 8.71 seconds. The distance that this gunman took this shot, he was 313.69 feet or 104.55 yards. That's the distance that he had between him and Governor Connally when he took that shot. Point this up. Okay. As I show you here, okay, we have the gunman's location right here. We know this by the bell film. And we can tell by the angle, too, of the shot, that would actually go in between, when JFK was shot here, and he's like this, when the other shot came over, when struck Governor Connally in the side, would have been crossed this way, which you would have had a straight shot, and he wouldn't have to worry about shooting Jackie Kennedy. So, because if a shot would have came from Texas School Book Depository, this shot would have, okay, it would have actually struck JFK before we got Governor Connally by this angle. But by this angle here, okay, he had a more straighter, clearer shot that he could take a shot to over JFK's right side and would have struck inside the chair. As you see here, when we zoom in Governor Connally's seat, Okay, see how it's more over on the right side, which JFK will be sitting here. So the bullet would have came in on the right side of JFK and struck Governor Connally in his back. I mean, in his right side as he's looking out. Okay, to his right. Okay, now this gunman took the shot to Governor Connally. Okay, he took one shot to JFK, he took one shot to Governor Connally. Now, this is where he stopped taking shots to either JFK or Governor Connally because one, he knew he already shot JFK in the head. He already knew he had a headshot. Then he took another shot to Governor Connally. At this point here, JFK was already shot twice and Governor Connally was already shot once. Okay, as I point out, the distance between the location of the gunman and when Governor Connally was struck in the right side was 313.69 feet, or 104.55 yards. Time frame starting from this location here, which is frame 133 of the Zapruder film, to right here where frame 244 is. Distance from here to here, the time frame was 8.71 seconds. As I point out in my research, and I've always pointed this out in my research, that as soon as you find a location and you pinpoint when these shots make contact with, we get more information from it. Like we got the distance now, we know the location where this shot came from, we got the distance now, and we know the time frame when we put it all in back into perspective. Now, what I want to point out here as well is when we look at the time frame, okay, where we see shot number 2, which we know was taken from the guy from the second floor of the county records building, and shot number 3, which we now know that what came from the second floor of the county records building. Okay, now he took his first shot to JFK at 7.58 seconds. Then he took a second shot, which was 8.71 seconds. That gives us, in between these two shots, 1.19 seconds. This will give us information too, because now we know he has an automatic rifle when he's taking his shots. So he didn't have to load it. So he took a shot to JFK, went bang, brought his rifle down a little bit, take another shot to Governor Connally. Okay, so he didn't have to worry about reloading. He already had an automatic rifle. That's why I said when we do these time frames and we know where these shots came from, we get more information out now because now we know what type of rifle that he was using was an automatic rifle. Now, I want to pull this one up here. But first, let me pull this one up. This is called Allgen's image number 6, as everybody knows. Okay, when I line this image up, it lines up with frame 254 of the Zapruder film. Okay, this is when Allgen took his image as Mr. Zapruder was filming. Now, what occurs me on this, and what people don't understand is, when you look at an image, okay, we're looking at an image like the still shot here, which I'll just go ahead and pull this up. This one right here. When we look at this image, we're going to say, okay, it's Allgen's image number 6. Okay, we see JFK already slumped over. We see Governor Connally looking out to his right. We can see Mrs. Kennedy holding JFK, because they also say this is the image where Lyndon B. Johnson ducked behind a seat as soon as they turned down on Elm Street, which I proved this to be not true because we can see actually Governor Connally's Lyndon B. Johnson's side of his head is right here because we have a Secret Service agent that's in front of him. We have Lyndon B. Johnson looking out to his right, which he was trying to go around to say the Secret Service agent's head's here. And you know how people try to peer around somebody like this? Okay, that's what he's doing there. He didn't duck down behind the seat, which I point that out. But anyway, people once look at this image and say, okay, well, I look at this image and I see that, here's JFK's limo coming down on Elm Street. Okay, and we know he shot here, okay, because we see him sloop down like this. But see, when I look at this image here and finding the information I already have, so every time I look at this image, I already know that JFK was shot twice here. Governor Connally was shot once here. Okay, so now when I look at this image and stuff like that, I know what was going on at the time when Allgen took this image. Not only did he took this image by frame 254 of the Zapruder film, that information no one ever knew until I did my research. Now when we look at this image, now we know for a fact today that JFK was already shot twice and Governor Connally was shot once. JFK was already shot in the back of the head. The bullet exited his throat. The bullet passed Governor Connolly's head, which also I'd like to point this out as well. As you see here, there's a dent right here on the inside of JFK's limo where a bullet struck. And as you see here, when we take that line back, that's going right back to where JFK was sitting, where he's grasping his throat. So we know this point here. When we look at this image now, okay, now we know JFK was shot twice. Governor Connolly was shot once. Okay, the first shot struck JFK in the back, exited his throat. Bullet struck right here in between the chrome, on the chrome between the sun visors. Okay, JFK was shot in the back of the head, and Governor Connolly was shot in his right side. So every time I look at this image now, and I know there's a dent already that's on the chrome in between the sun visors. So when I look at this image, after I lined it up and put it in a time frame, which JFK was first shot in frame 224, then was shot again in 229, and then Governor Connolly was shot at 244. Okay, so and then the chrome was hit at frame 228 of this 227 of the Zapruder film. So when I look at this image now, and I know this image was taken by frame 254 of the Zapruder film, I knew at this point here, JFK was already shot twice, once in the back, once in the back, once in his back, and once in the back of his head. And Governor Connolly was shot once in his right side, and there's already a dent inside the chrome between the sun visors of the windshield. Okay, so not only one image, like I said, one image can give you a lot of information, but when you start pinpointing everything and you start lining everything up and you start piecing it all together, okay, you get this more and more and more and more information. Just like I said, when we sit there and we look at the Zapruder film, we see expression on Governor Connolly's face where he's in pain. Then we continue on looking through the film, and then we see that there's a bullet hole with blood coming out on Governor Connolly's right side. Now we know he was looking out to his right when we see that pain expression on his face, but now we see there's a bullet hole there. Then when we look at other images and we see there's a bullet hole in Governor Connolly's seat and there's blood right around it. Okay, now we know that Governor Connolly was shot in his right side. We know exactly when he was shot by frame 244 because by the expression on his face. Okay, and then he claimed that he was shot. They told him he was shot around frame 245 of the Zapruder film by the expression on his face, but that's not it because remember, he said he was looking off to his right, and he did not feel the shot in his upper back and, until he was turning to his left, because after he shot in his back, he went over into his wife's lap, and as you see in the Zapruder film, and this is frame 242, right here is Governor Connolly was shot. Now remember, he's still looking off to his right. He's not even looking off to his left. And as you see, he's not going over into his wife's lap. Okay, that didn't happen until after the fatal headshot, which I'm going to show that in my other shot videos I'm making soon. I just want to make this video here, and plus when we watch this, we put this information together, now we know the reason why the government took off Governor Connolly's clothes like they did, and we know why they sent it to the dry cleaners to have pressed and cleaned so they can have repairs done to Governor Connolly's suit to hide them out of the bullet holes, so no one would know that Governor Connolly was shot in his right side. But like I said, when we watch films and watch the images, we piece all this together, we see that Governor Connolly was in fact shot in his right side, and he was shot by frame 244 of this Zapruder film because we can see by the expression on his face. Like I said in my research, okay, when you find evidence and you can find all the evidence you want, and once you find it, okay, then you start piecing together, pinpointing locations, pinpointing when this image was taken or when that image was taken or when this film was taken, and then when you line up other films with this one main film, okay, and you're going to get a view and different angles, okay, you would understand it a lot more. That's why this information I'm giving in my videos of these shot videos and even in my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, you're not going to find this nowhere else because no one else has this information. When people done research on this case, they didn't go in depth like I did. Okay, when I see something Like when I seen the shot here, when I see an expression on Governor Connolly's face, I'm saying why. Okay, no one's going to answer why he was make an expression like this, because if they said, well, this is when he claimed in his interview, he claimed he was shot around frame 254, 245 of the Zapruder film. That's when he was shot. But then this is not actually matching his story now, because remember when he said he felt the blow in his back when he was turning to his left, because after he felt the blow in his back, he felt his wife slap, and that did not occur until frame 315 when Governor Connolly starts turning to his left. Okay, here we see Governor Connolly looking off to his right. We see he has a pain. Okay, he has a pain, and we see him pushing his whole body off to his left, towards the front of the car, because he's in such pain. And then when he does fall over into his wife's lap, in frame 337, we see there is a blood and a bullet hole on Governor Connolly's right side. And plus, there's a bullet hole in Governor Connolly's seat, as I point here, and here is that bullet hole right there. So see, when you start piecing this, and that's what I said, when I see something like that, I have to say, well, why is he in pain? So I'm going to keep on my eye open, because he's reacting to something hitting him on his right side. So when I watch the film and stuff like that, I'm going to look for his right side. Then after I find his right side and I see if it was blank and it was clear and everything else, then, I'll be looking for something else. But when I seen that bullet hole in blood, it's like, okay, he was shot. Now, when was he shot? Well, we go back through the frame, from that frame right there. We're going to go to 337, and we start tracing it back. Well, we see the blow on Governor Connolly's back, as he claimed when he was turning to his left, but he was mostly looking out to his right side. So we start backtracking it, and then we see in frame 244, he has this bad expression on his face, and he's in pain. Now we know when he got shot. Okay. Then we find other evidence. So I'm looking at the Zapruder film. Okay. I see the bullet hole on Governor Connolly's right side. I see expression in his face in frame 244, and see a bullet hole with blood in frame 337. It's a Zapruder film. So now I'm going to start looking for more information and looking over more evidence. And then I find the image with the door open, and we can see a bullet hole in Governor Connolly's seat. And then we start lining up this and start lining up that. And remember, they took Governor Connolly's clothes off of him nice and gently, sent him off to a cleaner's, had him pressed and cleaned, and repairs done to him. That's why they did it that way. So see, yeah, there was some cover-up going on here. I'm not going to deny that there was some cover-up going on here, because they're trying to hide a lot of shots and stuff. But like I point out in my research, I look for answers, okay? I always look for answers. If I see something that points up red flags or doesn't seem right to me, I look for that answers. And once I find them answers and I start piecing it all together and I start putting it all together, and if it fits, I would say, okay, now we know what happened. But if it really doesn't fit, no matter which way I turn, it wouldn't fit in there, and that puzzle piece wouldn't fit in, I would actually just put that to the side and say, well, I'll look at that later. This was shot number 3. Okay, Governor Connolly was shot in his right side in frame 244 of the Zapruder film. Okay, time frame from that shot, when we're going to starting point right here, was 8.71 seconds. The gunman that took this shot was a gunman on the second floor of the county records building. He took this shot right after he took the shot to JFK. The distance that he had between him and Governor Connolly was 313.69 feet, or 104.55 yards. This was shot number 3. And then, like I said, I want to point out, remember, when you look at Allgen's image number 6, we now know, okay, by piecing all this information together, we do now know that JFK was already shot twice. He was shot once in the back and then once in the back of the head. Governor Connolly was already shot in his right side. And we know there's a dent between the chrome of the sun visors and JFK's limbo at this point when this image was taken, because this image was taken by frame 254's Zapruder film. Tomorrow I'll be working on shot number 4, and that's the fatal headshot. And I'm still got a lot more to put in that file there. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Post this video on your sites or Facebook or anywhere else on Twitter. Tell your friends about us, tell your family about us. You know, show them this video so they'll know as well. Show them the other videos as well so they can have more information on JFK assassination. So like I said, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Thank you and have a pleasant, pleasant day.